Hi, so I'm going to start looking at installing the stairs over the next few days. So what we're going to do is we've got a double winder staircase going into the loft. So it's going to come up from here, it's going to go along and then back on itself and into the loft. Now in the instructions it does say to start at the top and work down. Although in our loft I haven't finished getting all the trimming joists in yet, so I'm going to start at the bottom and work up and just support it as we go. So it's sort of come half pre-assembled, so we've got the first sort of leg came pre-assembled and the last leg over there has come pre-assembled. So this is the final steps into the loft. These are the first 3 steps that you'll go. But then the sort of the winder sections, so the 2 winders we've got here and the main run of stairs we've got here, so that's all to assemble. So over the Easter weekend I'm going to probably do the majority of this, but just for today I'm just going to have a quick look and see how sort of the winders go together and just look at the materials I'm going to need and stuff like that. So materials wise, all I've picked up is some wood glue, so I've got some Evo stick, wood glue, fast setting formula. And this is the stuff that says it can be sanded over and painted over. So hopefully it's a good quality glue. It's got a litre of it for now. Dries clear, so we'll see how that goes. That's just from screw picks. I've just got some 4mm by 60mm wood screws. So these are what I'm going to use to the risers to the treads. So I'm going to use them to screw the risers to the treads. And then I'm going to try using the easy drive fixings for securing it to the wall. So with these are 100mm long, these ones, so they're a nice good long one. The timber they're going through is 30. So you've got at least 70mm in the wall there, and I will get slightly countersunk, so as it rises up I'll be using these for this. So that's well going into the brick, and that's a solid brick wall, so it's going to get a really good fix on with that. With these easy drive screws you don't need wall plugs or anything like that. Literally drill a pilot hole and then with a Terrace bit. These are a T30 I think, TX30, so with your Terrace bit just drive them in. And we'll see how they go. I mean, if I'm not happy with them, I might end up putting longer ones in, but we'll see how we get on with them. With these, we'll see how it goes as well, and I'll update you later on in the video, but it's difficult to find out what size pilot hole to use. So these are a 7.5 by 100, so I've got a 6mm drill bit and a 6.5mm drill bit. I'm going to try using them as the pilot hole and just see how they go. If it needs to be sort of more secure, I'll use a smaller drill bit, or bigger, I'll use a bigger one. But hopefully, I'm imagining the 6mm drill bit, so that's just a normal SDS drill bit, and that's long enough to go through the timber and also enough depth for the fixing to go into the wall. So the staircase itself, I just got online from a company called Stairbox. I think on the website it said the lead time was about 7 to 10 days. I would say this probably took about 2.5–3 weeks to come. Information you get, so I've got a basic plan and I'll put a screenshot of that up. Instructions wise wasn't really very helpful, to be honest, but you can go onto the website and download some generic instructions. So I've downloaded the generic instructions. I asked them for a drawing. What they provided me was this, which isn't really an engineering drawing. It's a layout of the stairs. So I mean, you can see the sort of basic outline of it, but it's by no means a drawing that you could use to do any sort of trimming up of joists or anything like that in advance of doing the staircase. So I'm massively impressed with that. But in saying that, the staircase itself does seem really good. So we've gone for a pine one, so it's well, everything's pine on it basically. I think you could go MDF, pine or oak. So we went pine, which was, I'm guessing, the middle of the road. But it does seem, it seems really nice thick wood, nice and solid. So but obviously as we put it together we'll see how we get on. And like I say, the instructions that I did get, I've just downloaded off the website, so they are generic instructions, and they do cover everything. The problem is that obviously with the specific stair design, I mean I've got newel posts that, of different sizes, so it would have just been nice to have a drawn sort of shown my specific newel posts and stuff like that, and how that was all fixing together. I mean it should be self-explanatory because I've got two here that are obviously going to be the same size. This one's going to be a bit longer because it's lower down. These sort of ones that are just your half one should all be the same length, so hopefully it won't be a massive issue, but we'll see how we get on as we put it together. So with the video camera it's a bit difficult to get all the different angles, so what I'll do is at this point I'll put a couple of photographs in of sort of how everything is before we've started, and I'll try and get a little bit of video if I can, just so you can see the sort of layout. So this is just from the other angle, so the staircase is going to start sort of there, it's going to go along, up, back on itself, and you can see there, if you look at our other videos, you can see it's sort of opening up the ceiling. So like I say, the blue sheet, which I'm not going to take down at the minute because we're not going to get that far today, but you'll see it as the video goes on. But above the blue sheet I've removed the joists, so we've got joists going across that way to secure it, going across that way and going across that way. There's a big section removed, which is where the staircase is going to go up into. But like I say, I wouldn't say the drawing was accurate enough to the millimetre that I would have been confident to put all the trimming joists in to then fit the stairs, because it's not as, it has bits of wood on that doesn't really accurately give you dimensions, or from what I can see at the minute it doesn't. It might become more self-explanatory as I put it in, but so for now, like I say, I'm going to start at the bottom and sort of secure it as I go up, and I have seen several other people do it that way, so we'll just see how we get on with that way. I think if you were just putting a, like I said, this staircase is a double winder one, so it's coming down, it's got to hit the wall, it's got to go down, it's got to come back on itself. If you're just putting a staircase from the end coming down, it wouldn't be so much of an issue, or from there coming down, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. It's because we'd need the exact distance to the millimetre from the wall to the joist for that first winder. The plan does show we've got 1465mm, but that's showing it to the sort of the 2/3 of the way along that newel post there. But I mean, I don't know the dimensions of that newel post at the minute. I don't know, is that exactly 2/3 of the way along? So I wouldn't say, the measurements just randomly stop in places, so I wouldn't say it's accurate enough to use to do the preparation. So that's why I want to go. I'll get it up there, I'll temporary support it, and then I'll put all my beams in at the end. If it doesn't work, we'll have to go back to the drawing board, but we'll see as the video goes on how that works out, and hopefully it'll work nicely.
So ahead of next weekend, when we're going to actually be putting it in properly, we're just putting it in roughly now because we need to measure this newel post here. Obviously, as you can see at the minute, it's going right to the ceiling, right touching the tiles of the roof. So it's too tall, but this will connect down here on the staircase, and it's actually, I think it's B on the drawing that we inserted earlier. So we're just going to measure the distance from there to cut this to size, ready for next weekend. So next weekend we can just crack on and start putting it together.
So what we've done now, the newel post that's going to go in this position is a one that goes right the way up, and it's going to fix on to the rafters just to the right of that Velux window. So what I've done is we've taken a measurement from the top of here, so that lip there, and then on the post itself, it's that lip there. So we've taken that measurement and we've cut the timber I don't know if you can quite see on there. We'll cut the timber on the same angle as what the rafters are on. So we've cut the timber on the same angle as what the rafters are on. We're now just going to offer it in. Again, this is all still just dry, just literally just to see how it goes. You can see there we've got the stair stood in temporarily. I've put the dust sheet back across now actually, but we have got that support going right the way up. Maybe see slightly through that gap. It's just fixed on the rafter just to the right hand side of the velux. So you can see roughly how it's going to go. So the first job when we start on them properly, it'll be make that first winder. We'll then fix it to that wall plate. We'll then probably secure all that together and then work up. I'm going to work from down up, although in the instructions it does say to work from up down, but we haven't got the trim and joists and stuff in properly yet, so I've not really got no choice, so I'm just going to have to support it as we go up. So I've seen sort of plenty of people do it that way, so it shouldn't be a massive issue. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dry fit this riser up here and the winder, just to make sure it all goes in, make sure I'm using the right bits of timber and stuff. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to fix that together and then work up, so we'll see how it goes. I have printed the instructions out off the Stairbox website, and there's plenty of YouTube videos, you know, like animated ones from their website that shows you how it goes. Because the only real problem is nothing's actually labelled up, so we've got a pile of wood, but we've no idea where anything goes. So it's just a bit of a trial and error type of thing that way, but hopefully it won't be so much of an issue. So like I said, dry fit the winder into this riser bit and then we'll work from there. I think the stair also needs to go over there 30 or 40 mil and probably back 10 or 20 mil, but again I just want to put it in for now, make sure it's all the right bits of wood, then I'm going to glue it, notch it in and we'll sort of work the way up. The minute is I've just dry fitted in this winder piece, so pieces 1, 2 and 3 to just sort of in there loosely just to make sure they are the right pieces, it all looks alright. So what I'm going to do now is take it all apart and fit it together properly. Now I know what's what. So I'm going to go up in the attic. I've got some temporary fixings on some of these hangers, so I'm going to loosen them off a little bit and go from there. It's a bit jerky now, I've just got hold of the camera, I'm just going to get you a close-up of what I've done so far. First 3 sort of lifts came pre-assembled, so I've now connected that on to the winder assembly. Now on the next winder assembly I'll video it as I'm doing it, but I wasn't 100% sure how this one was going to work, so I've just done this one so I could see myself how it will work, and then like I say we'll video the next one. If you're wondering about the levels, by the way, it's the acro prop that's not level and not the newel post. So basically what we did with the winder is we dry fitted it just to make sure we had the right pieces, and then put this section on, so that was dowelled in, well I suppose to begin with, the first lift into the first 2 newel posts, it's dowelled in, glued it on the inside and tapped the dowels through. The same on this side, I've actually cut the dowels off but it needs sanding down and then probably a bit of wood filler over it, and then you won't see it, so that's nice. What I would say is be careful when you're knocking the dowels in, because I knocked that one in which started to knock it off at this side a little bit. So as it turns out, I'll be able to sand that and paint it, and you're not going to see it, but just be careful when you're knocking the dowels in that you don't knock them too far through. So you can see about how much I've cut off there. So that was sort of from full length, that's what was left. I've cut that off. The other ones, I've left them a bit longer just because I'm going to cut them and sand them, I think. But just sort of seeing how it would work there. So after that, the first sort of 1, 2, 3 of my winder. So I'll put the first one in, plenty of glue on it, second and third, and then I'll show you from behind how that worked. And then once I've done that, we've got the first lift of this stair in. What I initially tried to do was sort of put it in all loose and square it up, and I was thinking, oh, it's not square, and I was right chewing on. In the end, what I did was I put the first stair in, I properly secured it, and then after that it sort of squared itself, and it is square. You can see I've got my set square over there, and it has squared up nicely. So along my wall there's a bit of a gap here, but the plaster in this room, which was a bedroom, which is going to be a bathroom, and the plaster in the hall was a different level to each other anyway. So I don't know if you can see there, but when that's flat on there, let's see come up a little bit. When that's flat on there, there's a gap. So it's not massively different, if you know what I mean, if you tuck it in. So there'll be a false wall going up the side of here. Which I'll probably try and get a bit of video at the end of this video before I put this video on YouTube. So there'll be a bit of false wall up here, and then that'll all tie into everything else. Here's Alicia, she's made herself a cup of tea, no thought for anyone else.
No, this is your cup of tea.
So my plan today is hopefully that post there, sort of in front of Alicia, need to cut that one down the side. Now I'll talk through how I'm going to do that, which is the exact same procedure I used for this initial one. So again, we'll get a bit of we'll try and get a bit of video how we cut that one, just for a bit more information. Now on the underside of the stairs, so the first sort of lift, like I say, is what's pre-made, but then you can see after that, where are we at? Yeah, I think it's that one. So these are the ones I've put in. So plenty of glue on the blocks, and I did put a pin tack through as well. I haven't blocked them all, so you can see the next one I've just got it in loosely. Yeah, plenty of glue, slide them from side to side, and they do sort of suction on themselves anyway. But then once they're suctioned on, I just put a pin tack in, just the one. So I haven't pinned them both ways, just to allow for any movement or anything, but just the one pin tack. Just to stop them moving anyway, because it looks like, if you look there, these are the original ones that's come from the factory, and they've got a tack through anyway. So well, if they've done it on the original ones, I'll do it on mine. You can see the rise a bit on the last couple of stairs I haven't put in. I have on the very final one because it'd be difficult to get in after the event, but them two I have had in and taken out with quite easily, so I'm confident I can get them at the end. So any that I've been able to get in and get out, I've just left out. But as far as the secure and everything, you see that I've got the sort of packers in there and then sort of round there. So basically, a bit closer up there. So that's packed into that. That's sort of all just glued into there. This is secured to the floor over here. So it's secured at the bottom. It's not secured at the minute, but that will be all raw bolted to the wall. Secured down the side, glued on this post side. This one, once it goes across, is sort of packed at both sides. And then the big post will be fixed at the top somewhere. It'll either be fixed into the floor, or if I think it's going to look not very good fixed into the floor, I'm going to have to move my window across about 50 mil. So we'll see. I'll think about that as it goes on, what I think will look the neatest, but either fixed into the floor or move my window slightly, which either way it's not a massive issue. Next post is going to fix into there. and it's going to go right up to the ceiling for now. Like I say, it may get cut off at floor level, but I'd rather have it going up to the ceiling too high and be able to cut it later than obviously not be high enough. So the way I've measured, so what I've done on the other one, what I did on the original one, is I took a measurement from the timber here to the ceiling height where I want it to go, and then on the post itself, it's at the very bottom fixing, it's going to go onto here, so it'll slide into there, and then you'll dowel through there, bit of glue inside there, and then the stair sort of fixes into that bit. And then that one there is when it's going to come back on itself. So anyway, what I'll do on there is I'll take a measurement from the top of there up over, and then I'll put an angle on, the same angle as in my roof, which I've cut a template already for that, so I'll put my template on, cut the angle, and I'll probably just cut it with the handsaw, nice and easy. So on here, like I say, measure from there to the ceiling, that'll tell me my length. Then on the timber, from there to wherever it is on the timber, cut the angle, hopefully it'll go in temporarily, just securing it on them pieces of timber I've got going across. And then like I say, I then need to get the floor back in and everything properly, but this is just so we can get the stair in, and I'm going to put the floor around the stair rather than the other way around. So I'll try and get a bit of video as we're going along.
He's just in the attic now, and he's going to drop the tape measure down, and like you mentioned, we're going to measure up to here so we can get the measurement so we can cut this to size. So we're just holding it on to the little notch where the wood will actually sit.
So it's 3,100 millimetres, 3 metres, 3.1 metres.
3.1 metres. Right, now I'm going to measure it to where the first cut out hole at the top of the cut out hole. That'll sit on that notch that I've held it on before. Okay, so we're just in the attic, and Dave's just about to cut.
So what I've done is,
the wood.
It'll be 3.1 metres, it's from the top of there. So it's from the top of there, up. And that's my line at 3.1 metres.
Yeah, that way.
So I've got an angle on here that I took earlier, so I put it on the wood. The wood was square down the bottom, I drew down, so I know that that's the right angle. So that's the top of my angle, that's the bottom. What I'm then doing is putting top. I've just make sure you've got it everything the right way around, because obviously you don't want to cut your angle the wrong way, if you know what I mean. So I've put my template on now anyway. I've got top mark on my top mark. Put my bottom mark on. Using a straight edge. And that's me angle I need to cut. So when the wood stood up, I can see when my timber stood up, my hole that'll fix it into, you can't now see it, is on this right hand side. So along the deck plank. So the hole that's fixing in is there, I can see that it's in there. My angle I've drew on goes like that, which is the same as that, and I can see from here that's right. So I would suggest checking it a couple of times if you're not sure. Tied on the original mark, so I can cut it, but I can look as I'm going. I have bought a new reciprocating saw, my other one broke. They're good, they're about 40 quid from Screwfix. There used to be a mate called Titan, which I've got one over there, but I've probably gone about through 2 of them over the last sort of 8 or 9 years. Tend to get 2 or 3 years out of them. They have a 2-year warranty anyway, mind, so if you break it within 2 years they get changed, but like I say, 40 quid. Dead quick just to get the blades in and out. Get the timber cutting blades, which this one is, and the metal cutting blades. I always go for the Bosch blade, so I would pay a bit more for a good Bosch blade and a cut through like butter. But I'm going to use this for the cutting the main edge, and I'll see how square it is. If I think I can get a square cut with it, I'll use it to cut the angle. If not, I'll use a handsaw because I know I can get a decent cut with that. And to be fair, that is nice and square, so I'm going to use that to cut the angle. I'm going to attempt it anyway. With our angle cut, it's going to be above ceiling height anyway, so it's going to be fixed in, obviously not this bit of timber, but it's going to be fixed into timber, and then there'll be plasterboard around it, or it'll be fixed into the floor. So either way, you're not going to see it. So it's not like I'm massively worried about it, although I do want it to be right. Anyway, I've flipped it round now, but you can see there, nice cut. I just don't want it to fall off my trestle, but nice cut. Like I say, if it was onshore, I might have took a bit more time and done it with a handsaw. But, with that electric saw, saying it's going where you can't see it, it's good enough for me. These are stairs up to now. So like I say, the post that we've just cut is going to fix into there. It'll come up, I'll temporarily secure it to this bit of wood like I have there, and then like I said, the minute it's coming up, so it'll either get cut off at floor height and secure it across from me beam, or if not, I mean, it doesn't go over the window, but I don't like how close to the side it is, so if not, I'll move that window across. Probably literally, probably about 3 or 4 centimetres. Literally, the plasterboard's going to come down here, so you see there, literally just over it. So what I would do is just slightly move this window across, which is not a massive job in the grand scheme of things, and it'll look better in the long run, but I'll see how I get on. And then you can see we've got a steel over there, there'll be a couple of big noggins come across, and we'll secure the stairs sort of into that. Hopefully I'll get a bit of video of that later on in this video.
Okay, so just an update on what's happening is we've had the beam as far as it will go and it won't go any further, and it's because we've got one of these wedges, it's too far, so Dave's chiselling it off basically.
I've done there, nothing's glued sort of from here up over, so I've just dry fitted in the winder, into that post that goes up into the attic and into that. So now what I'm going to do is take it all apart and glue and sort of dowel it. Again, it is a bit of a fight to discover what goes where, because like I say, the stair itself is alright, but the sort of instructions are diabolical. So yeah, a bit of a fight. But anyway, I'm going to take it apart and just have a look and see if I can figure out what goes where, and then sort of glue this much in. I think at this point I'm going to put some wall fixings into the wall just to hold that in, because that'll then hold it all in place as well nicely, I think anyway. So we'll see how we're going. Right, so you can see we've got the second winder in now, so we're getting that post going up the side there, and the sort of the two lower treads are fully glued and wedged in. See the sort of the wedges under there, and there. The top one's loose at the minute, but I'm going to do that next. And then after that we'll be on to another post here. Again, I think that one goes right up to the ceiling, and then hopefully just the last little bit in, and then we can have a look at putting these back bits in. So getting a bit faster now we know what we're doing. Obviously still all need securing to the wall and stuff like that, but definitely taking shape as we're getting along. So I've just got the second lot of winder in. Yeah, I've got that coming up. So again, put one in at a time. Let's have a look from underneath there. So wedge, loads of glue in. Again, loads of glue. I've put a screw in just to hold them in place, but wedges, glue, wedge and glue. And then once I've done that, put the two newel posts in, or the other newel post in, which is this one. And then that section you can see above me, and I'll get a shot from above so it's easier, but that's the pre-made section. And they're the final two newel posts, and I'll go and get the rest of the footage from above. So I'm now standing on the stairs. It's not fully secured yet, but it is sort of self-supporting, so we're alright. So this is the winder that I've just done, and then just into these two newel posts. This is the pre-made bit. That comes up, and then that final rise there, I put the trimmer joist across, which is the treated one at the front. You can see further back where I've got to with the attic floor at the minute, so there's a couple of joists to go sort of in that no man's land at the minute, and then that'll all tie nicely up. Then I'll double joist that existing one's coming out, double joist along the side, and double joist over there just to hold in everything existing, and then we'll tie it in. So this is looking at it from the other angle. So there's the stairs coming up, got joist hanger. I haven't quite decided yet. I need to have a look at my plan. I may double that joist up, so I may put another one in there, double that up just for a bit extra security. But we'll see how we're getting on later with that. But for now, so we've got the two newel posts at the front, the pre-drilled holes for the handrails, the existing posts are coming up into the attic. So the plan is now, there's a couple of backboards that need to go in, so I'm just going to put them in. That'll finish off the rest of the night, couple of hours maybe. Tomorrow I've probably got some other stuff on, so probably won't be doing a lot with it tomorrow. But then on Monday, Easter Monday, I'm going to look at doing a bit of the floor, try and get a bit of the floor trimming done. If I can get the big sort of joists cutting in, I can mess on with little bits after work on a night, but getting the big joists in. So the staircase nearly done. Like I say, it's from a company called Stairbox. I think the staircase itself is fine. It's good quality. We went for the pine one. It's good quality. It does all slot together. What, like I've said a few times, my main gripe with it, and I think it really let it down, is the sort of the putting together instructions. You know, you've got bits of wood that are like, they all have the measurements on and everything, but 2 or 3 millimeters difference. You know, the same shape, 2 or 3 millimeters difference, and it's just a guessing game where to put stuff. So I think although the staircase is good, the plans and stuff are diabolical. Like I say, if you're competent DIY yet, you can probably work your way through it. But I think it does really let it down, so I don't know if other companies would be better with that or not. But in saying that, I probably would use them again. I'd get another staircase from them if I needed one in the next project. But like I said, just bear in mind, if you're not massively confident that the instructions are non-existent, or the instructions are on the website, you know, so it'll tell you how to put a winder together, you know, how to put the stair, so that is there. It's just, like I say, you've got a box of wood, they're all labelled the same, they all say stair 1 on them. It's just like your guess is as good as mine where stair 1 goes. It's like, you know, like 40 or 50 stair 1s, and they are all 2 or 3 mil different. So the assembly instructions, rubbish. So the backboards are just to going down on the winders basically. You can sort of fit them in and out sort of after the event. Right, see there's a couple, so I've got them there. Just going to measure up. If I need to take a couple of mil off to get them in, I will, and then I'll show you how I'll fix them in a second. So just a final look at the stairs now. You can see they're all installed. There's 2 support posts there that are still to come out, and they're going to come out once I've got my cross supporting up the top there. But other than that, the stairs are in. So I'll show you from bottom to top. Shall we go up? So this is the first winder, and then the second winder. And then we're into the loft, and then just looking back across, see I've tied it into the main beam. It's a side support there, it still needs bricking into the wall, but it's a job for next weekend. And the main support over there again, going into the wall. Ties up the top. So these ties apparently aren't actually structural, they're more just support to stop stuff moving about. So the timbers have been secured across, the same on that side, and then this has been fixed to that timber, and then obviously above here there'll be the insulation going on the roof anyway, and then plasterboard, so you know it'll be hidden away quite a lot of the top, and then you'll just see it going up. So all in all, the stairbox stair, quite impressed with it. Like I say, it's a good quality, it seems a good quality, it's a nice solid finish, looks the part. My only real criticism would be the instructions. Like I say, they were non-existent. And what I mean by that is there is plenty of examples on the Stairbox website telling you how to put it together, but basically you just get a pile of wood, and you know, still got the handrails there and the spindles, and if you watch later videos you'll see them go on, although I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use the spindles that came with the stair. We may use something similar to what we've got on our original stairs, or just get a different design altogether, so that's why I've left them off for now, but they will be going on at a later date. And I'll be doing plenty more videos on different aspects of the loft, so I might just do a video on putting handrails and spindles on at a later date. This wall you can see here, again there was an earlier video with me taking the plaster lap wall down. This is the start of the stud wall. There's obviously some more cross noggins and stuff to go in, but this room's going to be probably made into a small bathroom, so just put this timber work up again just so I could dress the stairs into it. And this is all, like you'll see on the earlier videos, this is all being put up after the actual stairs have been installed. It's just stairs from a different angle there. And just a final recap, so the bottom section was made, the bottom section came pre-assembled, we've put the middle winder section in, the single riser, and then the top winder, and then the top section was pre-made, and the newel posts, obviously we've just fit them in. So like I say, the wedges are just glued with a little tack to hold them in place, and then I've used some concrete anchor bolts just as a final securing to secure the sort of frame to the wall, and I put several of them in along the run. Wedges on the sort of gone and risers, so they're hammered in, bit of glue around them as well just to hold them in place, but they get a really good fix. So later on in the loft conversion, probably plasterboard the underside of this just to hide all this, but again you'll see the plasterboard in a later video. So this video is, like I said, just an overview of the stair. Probably I would say it took a couple of days for me, with a helper, somebody just to hold and pass stuff, so I'm quite pleased with that. Please subscribe on here, and if you go on our Instagram account, renovating_Vane_Cottage, we'll put loads of little videos as we're going along doing projects on there, and you can just see how stuff's going.